Welcome to another informational show about social media marketing. If you're a band, a business, or use social networking, you want to hear Highway to Success with your host, Cynthia McIntosh.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us here on the Highway to Success show. My name is Cynthia and I will be your host today. And we look forward to bringing you information every week that will help you to be as successful as possible in your businesses and in all your endeavors. Whether you be a business owner, whether you be a band, whether you be an independent musician, you are going to want to hear what we have on the show today. Today we're going to be speaking with a woman who specializes in branding, and if you do not have branding all set up for your business, you are not going to want to miss what she has to say. Branding is very important, especially in this day and age, and she is going to help us to figure out how we can put our businesses on the internet and get a good, strong internet presence. So you definitely don't want to miss her. And secondly, we are going to be talking to an old friend of ours, Dennis Alvarez. He is a musician here out of the Los Angeles area, and we have spoken to him before and always have a lot of fun. So you will not want to miss what he has to say. We're going to be talking about his campaign, what's working, what's not, and what's coming up next for him. So stay tuned, and we will be back with you and our special guests right after this.
Hi, this is Nicolas Cage. When you're a teenager, there are a lot of things going on that can produce stress and anxiety. The pressures of school, dating, and the future in general can seem overwhelming sometimes. But there are healthy ways to deal with stress, ways to reduce it and channel your energy in positive directions. And you don't have to do it alone. The Will Rogers Institute has a free booklet with some really helpful information.
For your free copy, visit wrinstitute.org and find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Hi, this is Cynthia with the Highway to Success show. I want to thank you for listening to our show today, and I sincerely hope that you're learning new and exciting ways to improve your marketing campaign and to build your business. I want to remind you that we will be here every Wednesday at noon, Pacific Standard Time, to bring you experts in the field of social media marketing, promotions, and business management. So be sure to tune in each week. The Highway to Success show is brought to you by Success with McIntosh, and you can visit us on the web at successwithmacintosh.com or call us at 866-636-4696. That number again is 866-636-4696, or you can visit us on the web at successwithmacintosh.com.
Hi, I'm comedian Carol Leifer. Animal experiments are no joke. Thank goodness scientists are finding better, more humane ways to develop treatments for cancer and other killer diseases. I hope you'll learn more about the Humane Charity Seal of Approval. It helps donors find charities that provide vital care and advanced research without using animals. For information on how you can give and let live, go to humaneseal.org. That's humaneseal.org.
Hello everyone, this is DJ Daniel. Are you looking for a way to make the second half of your Mondays fly by? Then check out Independent Corner here on Indie 104. I give you 3 hours of the best indie artists and bands from the US and around the world. I might even play someone from your hometown.
Hi everyone, this is Lloyd and Katie. We are Garak from Tokyo, Japan.
Hello everyone, this is Morrigan from Ravensheart in the UK.
Hey mate, this is Marty.
And this is Karen
of Sugar Rock from Brisbane, Australia.
That's Independent Corner with me, DJ Daniel, every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific on Indie 104, iRadio LA.
What if it wasn't always about getting ahead? What if you didn't care about being on the fast track? What if your career goals were to change? Instead of flying off to the big interview, what if you flew somewhere else altogether? To embark on a different track, to volunteer in ways you never dreamed of, in places you never imagined yourself being. Like a tiny island in the Pacific, barely visible on a map, but where needs are easy to see. Or a village on the African continent, where just a little training in HIV awareness can change the fate of thousands. What if you decided to share your skills with others and help someone else get ahead? Peace Corps. Life is calling. How far will you go? To find out more, call 800-424-8580 or visit peacecorps.gov.
I'm Alec Baldwin. Like any parent, I'm concerned about children's health. Many kids don't eat as they should and are at risk for long-term health problems like diabetes and heart disease. But here's good news. Fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and other low-fat vegetarian foods can protect our kids and keep the rest of the family healthy too. For a free booklet, call the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine at 1-877-685-KIDS or visit www.kidsgethealthy.org.
And we're back with Highway to Success with Cynthia McIntosh.
So welcome back, everybody, to the Highway to Success show. I am really excited today about our show, and I'm going to introduce to you Ija Butler, who owns a business called AMB Branding. She is located out of the San Francisco Bay Area in Pittsburgh, California, and she's going to share with us today how we can improve our marketing skills for whatever kind of business we have. So, with that, I would like to introduce Ija Butler. So Ija, thank you so much for being on the show. I'm really excited about having you here today and looking forward to having you discuss branding with our indie musician listeners. I know that they're going to be really interested in what you have to say, and I know that they're going to learn a lot today. So thanks for being on the show.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me. I'm really excited about sharing some of the things I have coming up and helping to teach our musicians, authors, and artists how to effectively brand themselves and get their work out there to the public.
Yeah, I think that's a really important aspect of business management. And why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself and your business and what you do?
Okay, well, of course, my name is Ija Butler. I started out as an author, started writing my first story after my illness. I did a nonfiction story based on getting back on track, having to learn how to walk and speak again after, you graduate and you all of a sudden are met with a disease. It's sometimes hard to get back on your feet. So I started writing, and it really helped me with my healing process, and it was served as a self-counseling method for me to get myself back in order and gain my independence again.
Wow.
After I started the authorship, a friend of mine that just suggested that, she promote me a little bit. She was doing some big-time promotions for, of course, reality TV shows, and I was so surprised that she picked me because I'm like, oh, my God, I'm just Ija, I'm nobody. But she saw some faith in me, and after we started that process, one day she says, hey, why aren't you publishing? And I said, I don't know, because what I do is on my Facebook pages or Twitter pages, I would start teaching and just showcasing different things I was learning about the publication business based on the fact that my publisher at the time was not letting me know anything. We didn't receive royalties or learn about the royalties. So I started teaching myself how to do all those good things by myself.
Good for
you. Also, after that, I started a training program. So my training program consists of basically learning how to promote yourself, learning how to utilize the logo and the tagline, things I had to learn too while taking and doing a query letter for submissions for all of the great things that I, wanted to get out there as far as my writership goes. So I decided to become an agent for underground music artists and underground authors such as myself that don't get the Random House pick or the, Harlequin Romance pick, even though I was suggested as one of those people that could most likely get a deal, I turned them down and decided to write my own stuff, put together my own book, my own, you call the shots, become an entrepreneur.
Good
and
for
a good thing about that is that you learn how to do the business. So when you are picked up by Universal or any of these musical records and book labels, you know the business, so no one can kind of sell you a dream or a story,
right.
because you don't have that time to actually educate. So the first thing I would like to let musicians and authors know, of course, is that it is important to learn the business.
That is so exciting to hear you say. I had a producer on the show last week, and that was one of the things he said, was that if you're going to be a musician, you can't just sit in your garage and write music. You have to actually learn the business. And so you're really just confirming the same thing he is, and it's really interesting to see how you really lived what he's talking about, in that you took something that could have been very negative and you turned it into something extremely positive by really learning the business and figuring out what you could do for yourself. So I really commend you on that. That's exciting.
Yeah, it is, because now you can actually navigate through your own success, pinpoint those goals that you've reached, and then kind of cross them off. And then you create this list of where you were last year to where I am now. You may not be on the red carpet just yet, but you're making some strides because you're learning the business, you're getting in touch with the right people. I tell my authors and musicians all the time, it's important to learn how to effectively market yourself and how to find your niche and find the genre that you're going to be preaching to the choir, about listening to your music and about selling your books, because a lot of the times people don't know where to put their books at, where to put their music at. And that's something I specialize in. I specialize in branding you as an individual and branding your product or service, so that when people hear a tagline, for instance, I have a book series called My Nemesis Book Series, and it's a psychological thriller, and I will say, witness the drama. And if I say that one tagline and I have My Nemesis attached to it, everyone knows that that's the My Nemesis book series, and it's consistent. You want to have consistency, you want to have something that is profitable, marketable, and it gets into the right hands in front of the right crowd.
So
you can't just throw it on the internet.
So if I'm a musician and nobody's ever heard of me yet, but I'm trying to get myself out there, and I contact you, what goes into the process of creating a brand for me?
I want to first know you as a person. I want to know what you want to get out of the music business, you as an artist. I want to know what genre you're in. I want to know what slogan do you use, if you have a slogan at all. Or do you have a merchandise? Are you coming with the total package? I'm coming with the music. I'm coming with the tools. I'm into learning. I'm into learning, first of all. That's one thing I require of all of my artists and clients. I'm willing to learn. Because if you're not willing to learn and you think you know everything, you're sure to fail. Because
okay, so if I'm a nobody, though, I'm a nobody. I'm just getting started. So no, I do not have merchandise. I don't have an image set up. I have no branding at all. So yes, I can see where getting
I come in.
Right. So getting to know me, of course, is really important, because you can't brand yourself if your personality and your business is not included in that brand, because that's what the brand is all about. So okay, so I come to you. So step one is getting to know me. Explain to me the importance of merchandise, because I know, again, that producer that I had on last week brought up merch as well, and said that you have to have your merch. But again, that's not what he does, so he didn't really get into explaining merch and why we need it and what it does. So explain that to me. What do you mean by merchandise, and what would one do with it, and why is it important?
It's really simple. It's really simple. It is just a side item to brand yourself. Get yourself out there. Even if you had a T-shirt, the Got Milk, or Just Do It by Nike. You don't see him just sitting around with the Nike sign. You see the bags, you see the T-shirts. You're wanting to get it so saturated into the internet and the world. Start walking around with your merchandise and things of that nature, so they can say, "Hey, where is that from?" Like a new trend. You want to start a new trend. You want to be the new trend. So you want to basically make sure that you have something that sets you apart from everyone else that's just throwing their music out onto the online surface. So you want to create a brand. You want to create an image for yourself. Even if it's just your title of your music, or the title of your song, or something like that, or the title of your CD, or even your CD cover on your T-shirts, on your mugs, or even little download cards. I like to get my clients, my authors, download cards. Anything of those nature. You want to be represented in trade shows, so you want to make sure that you're getting something together that's going to accompany, and you become the whole package.
Okay, now let me ask you a question. Do you just design, for example, you were talking about download cards, do you just design them? If we're talking T-shirts, do you just design them, or do you actually deal with manufacturers and provide everything? So,
right, I actually design and provide.
Okay.
I do a number of things.
Okay.
I can even build your business plan, your business marketing, your grants. I write those. I have a large product or service manual that many clients thumb through. It just depends on which area that you're in, whether you're in music, whether you're an author, or whether you're a business owner trying to get your business known. You go through some of the same processes about branding yourself. Get your logo together, get your T-shirt together. If you don't want to do a T-shirt, and let's say you do seminars and motivational speaking, let's do a journal, some pens, maybe some folders to hold your information in. That way you're branded all the way around, and you're giving yourself a look and an image that we can all draw off of.
So that brings up an interesting point. Now, I told you that this is an indie music radio station, so the majority of people listening to this are going to be indie musicians. However, we do have businesses that also listen to this show to learn marketing. You just got done mentioning several different types of businesses. Now, I know one thing I run into, I specialize in social media marketing, and a lot of times, more often than not, I'll run into a person that when we start talking social media marketing, they immediately will say, well, I don't see how that relates to my business. I don't think I could use it. And for them, marketing is still advertising in the yellow pages or in the newspaper. That just, to me, does not work anymore.
It doesn't, because we're in a new age. Everything is now being put on the internet. We're going viral. Everything is digital. That brings up something that I would like to touch base on. I have two companies that I work with that are developing grassroots companies that I'm helping with getting them into the social marketing arena, internet marketing arena, excuse me. Whereas we're putting their businesses, they're successful in public, but online they have no presence.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So we need to make them online, because of the fact of the matter is that we don't just do anything hand to hand anymore. A lot of the things that we do are internet based. So if you're not computer savvy, if you aren't on Facebook or Twitter, if you're not on LinkedIn and Instagram, sharing those things, those even links, then you're getting ready to be nobody.
Right.
And in essence, because you're starting to slip through the cracks. Because a lot of us are getting out there and we're going towards technology, and everyone is on their smartphones, on their iPads and computers, and they're getting to know everyone virally.
Right. And
so
the truth
need to make sure.
Yeah, and the truth of the matter is that in this day and age, it doesn't matter if you're a band or a dentist. You need to have a presence on the internet, because I personally, and I know I'm not that different than the rest of the world, if I'm going to go look for a dentist, where do I look? I go on the internet and look. And if I can't find you, you're not going to get my business.
I tell a number of people, if they come in contact with me, Google me.
Right.
Google my name.
Right.
Take a look-see at what I've done. Take a look-see at what my projects are, and let me know where you want to go from there.
Right.
Am I a good representation of that? And that's the major thing that, I want to showcase.
Right.
With any of my writership or my works or any of that nature, I want to make sure that I'm marketable and that I stay in trend with the ongoing changing times.
Right. Right. Yeah, and I know that in branding, like I said, I do social media marketing, and branding is so important no matter what you do, no matter what kind of business you're in, and no matter what you're doing online, you still need the branding. Your Facebook page and your Twitter page and your website, they should all be branded. They should all match. They should all have the same URL if at all possible across the board. Branding is so important, because you don't want to have to keep looking somebody up under a bunch of different names. In other words, if I want somebody to look up Highway to Success on Google, I want them to find every one of my pages. I don't want them to have to look up Highway to Success in YouTube. They should be able to put in Highway to Success and find me. I don't want to be Highway to Success on one and Cynthia on the other, and Cynthia McIntosh on one, and you can't.
Exactly. That's a good thing. You have to be consistent across the board. You want to make a marketing plan. You want to make that time and effort into connecting those pages, connecting everything that you have on site, so that people. It's something about creating a one-stop. If somebody's going to look up A&B branding design, I want them to hit it, and it's a one-stop, and you'll see the links to everything else on the representation thereof.
Right.
So you want to make sure that we create not only the brand, not only the logo, but consistency, and making sure that what we put out is positive, and it's a positive reflection on what we want to do. Even if you're a musician and you're a rap artist and you do gangster rap, you want to make sure that everything is pertaining to your slogan, your tagline, your logo.
Yeah, and
you don't want to have miscellaneous things popping up under a name.
Now, since we're talking merchandising, why don't you tell me what actually sells when it comes to merchandising? Do T-shirts really sell? And if so, how do you sell them? Does a CD cover make really that big of a difference on whether a CD is going to sell or not?
Yes. The basic thing that I like to tell my clients every day is there's 2 points of selling and getting in front of consumers' visibility. And that's one, it's going to be the cover of the product, and number 2 is going to be the description thereof. If I'm going to go in a store and I want to pick out a book or I want to pick up a CD, the first, we buy with our eyes, correct? So what I would do is I'm going to pick something that I'm drawn to, that is interesting to me. I'm going to pick it up, and then I'm going to take a few seconds to turn it around to the back, and I'm going to read the description. That's why I teach a lot of my artists and authors how to write an effective description on your marketing and distribution packages.
So actually, what is on the front of your CD makes a huge difference.
It does, because it's a seller's point.
Mm-hmm.
It's a seller's point. The face of a product is always a seller's point because we buy with our eyes. Second thing is you want the description piece to be on point. You don't want it too long, too short. You want to use something that draws you in, pulls you in, gives you just enough to get you going, and then shuts you down. And that way they're like, what? I got to see what's going on in that book. I got to see what kind of music is on that on that CD.
Right.
And then accompany it with your T-shirts and your water bottles and your keychains or whatever it has to be.
Mm-hmm.
And they do sell. What we do is we create a website that's e-commerce, and that we put you as an artist on your music. We can sell your music from one spot. We can sell your T-shirts from one spot. We can have fan pages, and we can basically market you as a whole just from one location.
Okay.
And that's the better part of becoming the one-stop shop of A&B, is like I like to call it, of A&B Industries. You'll see all the different divisions that I have in publishing. You'll see all of the works and events that we have coming up. And we just have it in one place. That way you'll see there's Fam Cartel Productions that does Fam Cartel street lit books and street music. And then you have Kennerly Presents that does things of the nature of romance novels and urban romance. And then you'll have my educational departments. It's Acerall Publishing, and we have our Incarcerated Voice division, which is Educated Thug, but they are all a representation of A&B. They're all under A&B. So when you go to that one stop, you have something for everyone.
Is there any particular genre of music that you deal with or don't deal with? Or
no, we're across the board.
Okay.
We're across the board. What we do is we take your CD, if you have it already produced, we take your CD, we put you in the distribution channels, we design your cover, we design your posters and marketing materials, and then we get them out to you depending on what package you choose, and we get you some CDs on top of that, and then you start marketing and developing. You can always contact us for more CDs. We'll order them for you at a discounted rate, and we'll make sure that we send out your royalties and things of that nature on time. The other thing that we deal with as far as the books are basically just maintaining the same thing as a publisher and distribution, and we offer marketing plans and packages as well.
Okay. So why don't you just take a couple of minutes to just give us basically a catalog of your services and tell us exactly what you do provide for our listeners.
Okay, so basically what A&B Branding Industries provides is we do logos, we do cover art, being book, CD, musical product that you're selling. I do a lot of publishing, promotion, marketing. I teach also the business behind publishing, the business behind nonprofit development, because I develop too. What I do is business marketing plans, business plans. I write grants. I also do trailers for people, or book trailers, commercial trailers. We do YouTube views, Twitter views, Facebook views. We develop the Facebook and Twitter pages. We, my goodness, the list is so long. It's all over what I do. We basically do everything under the sun in regards to marketing and developing your business, as well as branding your business. So everything under the sun would be even website design. I develop and do website design as well.
Oh, wow.
But the main things that we focus on those little things that will get you out there, which is we want to create the website, we want to create the logo, we want to create the tagline, we want to create the product cover and your merchandise that's going to go along with it, and have it consistent and offer it in one package deal.
Okay, well, wonderful. Well, it definitely sounds like you could be helping a few of the people that are listening on the show. And also, I want you guys to keep in mind that this does not apply just to musicians. It applies to anybody, and no matter what kind of business you're in, you do need marketing. In this day and age, it just does not work to run an ad in the newspaper or run an ad in the Yellow Pages. And like I've said before, the day of one-way conversations is long gone. You know, that when we put an ad in the newspaper, that's a one-way conversation of a business saying, hey, here I am. But the customers can't respond. Social media marketing and internet marketing changes all of that, because now a customer has a voice and they can tell you exactly what they want. They can tell you what they don't want. And that's what customers look for. And so it's really important that no matter what kind of business you're in, you definitely want to have a strong internet presence, because that's where your customers are going to be going to look for you, and you need to be there to be found. So any business that you're in, you need to look into all this. So thank you, Aja, for being on the show. I really appreciate your time and all the wonderful information that you shared with us. Right now it's time for us to take a break, but when we come back, we're going to listen in on an interview that we did a while ago with a musician out of the LA area named Dennis Alvarez, and we're going to be talking to him about his social media marketing campaign and what he's been doing and what is working for him and what's not, and answer some of his questions. So be sure to stay tuned, and we'll be back with you and Dennis right after this.
And we'll be right back with Highway to Success with Cynthia McIntosh right after this.
Loretta's got a heart of gold, but she's feeling so alone. Somewhere out there is a hand to hold and a new life to unfold. Beautiful woman, just hold your head up high. Follow your dreams.
we're back with Highway to Success with Cynthia McIntosh.
What a beautiful song. We were just listening to a song called Loretta, written by our next guest, Dennis Alvarez. And good afternoon, Dennis. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here.
And we're going to discuss today your Facebook page and what we've done with it so far. And when we first started working together, you had nothing but a personal page.
Yes, I did. Like a lot of other people out there, I had a lot of misconceptions about how to promote on a Facebook page, and found out after dealing with you that there are some major differences.
Yes, there are. And the first thing we did was we did create a business page for you. And it's been a process in figuring out what works and what doesn't. Because with every business, certain things work and certain things don't. It depends on your customer base. It depends on what they like, what they don't like, what gets them going, what doesn't. But we're going to discuss the difference between your personal page that you originally had and your business page, because there are a lot of differences as you're finding out. One of the things that I really like about Facebook is that they do take spamming very seriously.
Yes, they do.
And if you get caught spamming, you won't be on Facebook. The reason that they have created business pages for any kind of business, musicians have a specific kind of page and different businesses have their own, but the reason they have done that is because if you have a personal page, you are allowed to contact other friends and people you know. If they want to contact you, they send you a friend's request. Once you say that you are a friend, they are allowed to talk to you. A business does not have that option.
That's one of the things I found out.
Yeah, a business cannot just go and talk to anybody. The people have to come to them first, which is actually a good thing, but it's also a challenge. Now that we have your business page, now we're in the process of promoting your business. So that's one of the things we wanted to talk about today. The personal pages do not allow you to advertise at all. If you get caught advertising on a personal page, they will shut you down.
That's correct.
You need to have a business page for advertising. But as a business page, you are allowed to promote, you are allowed to put coupons on there, or you are allowed to have sales on there, you're allowed to have ads on there, but it has to be a business page. And one of the things that we are going to be doing is putting a coupon on your page for guitar lessons.
And I think I like that very much.
Yeah, we're going to start doing some gift certificates.
Sounds like a winner to me.
The perfect gift that keeps on giving, huh?
I'm really looking forward to seeing how that all pans out, actually.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. It should be a lot of fun. On these business pages, you are allowed to put your music, which we've been doing. You're allowed to put videos on there, which we've been doing. And it's been really interesting. One of the things that I have found with musicians is very frequently they do exactly what you were doing. They have a personal page, they decide that they want to get into music and start promoting their music, and they just change the name of the page.
What I found out was that with a personal page, you can't go to businesses, or if a business or an agent or somebody that has a professional page, well, frankly, they're not going to see you. The only people that see you, as I understand it, are your personal friends, which is fine if you're an amateur, but if you really want to professionally promote yourself, I think that I have found that having a professional page is a really good tool.
Well, if you have if you have a personal page, you're only allowed to really advertise to your friends who probably already know where you are and what you're doing. But I was even dealing with a musician last week that I needed to contact. And I looked him up on Facebook, and he wanted me to contact him. I looked him up on Facebook, and he had a personal page. There was nothing I could do. I couldn't contact him through Facebook.
Wow.
Because I'm a business, and he's a person. He has to go to me first and like me before I can contact him. And unfortunately, that happens with musicians when they create a personal page and try and use it as a business. If somebody is a promoter and they want to talk to that person, they can't. If somebody is a radio station and they want to promote that musician, they can't. If somebody is a professional producer and they see that musician and they like him, they can't even tell him that. They have no way of contacting that musician. They can see him. They can go to his page. They can listen to his music. They can read what he has put on there.
It's so important to be able to be reached by the right people.
Yeah.
And a professional page makes that entirely possible.
That
That's
is
what I'm finding out.
right. And even as a personal page, even when you do promote events, the only people that are going to see it are your friends.
Right. And I'm interested in amassing as many fans as I can, as many followers.
Absolutely.
And I want people to come up to my gigs because for me that equates in income.
That is very true. I think that's true of most musicians.
Yeah.
So that brings up the question, if I, as a business, cannot just go out and speak to Joe Blow on Facebook, they have to come to me, then how do you promote your music? Since you can't just go and talk to anybody and tell them about your music as a business page. He's putting his hands up in the air with a, I don't know.
No, I don't know.
They can't hear that on the radio, sir.
Oh, I thought that was a camera. No. Okay.
Okay, no.
So how do you do that?
How do you do that? That is such a good question. I'm so glad you asked.
I'm proud of myself.
Now, actually, there are a lot of different ways. But you need to go to where they are, where your fans hang out. Whether it be different genre pages, if there's a jazz page on Facebook where people hang out that like jazz and you happen to be a jazz musician, if there are different venues that you perform at or that you want to advertise to, then you go to those pages. You go where your customers hang out. You cannot reach them directly. You cannot go to John Smith and talk to him if he hasn't liked your page and he doesn't know who you are. So you can't just go to John Smith and say, hey, I saw you on such and such a Facebook page and you said you like this kind of music and that's what I play. Come on out and check me out. You can't do that. But if you go to a page where he's hanging out that's a business page, and he's hanging out there like at a bar and he's talking about something, you can go to him then and make a comment to his comment and you can reach him that way. You can like other business pages where people hang out that like your kind of music or that have mutual interests. And so you hang out in those pages, you make comments on those pages, and when people see your comment, they're going to be curious and they're going to look at your page to see who you are, and when they see your page and they like you, then and then voila, now you can talk to them. So you hang out where they are and you communicate with them, you create relationships with them on other pages where they already are, and then they will come to you. But you can't go to them as a person and talk to them individually unless you go to a page where they are that's a business page that you are allowed to talk on.
Now, how do I advertise my gigs and my CD releases on a professional page?
On a professional page, you have events tabs. And on the events tabs, you can put all your whole calendar. Now, what I have done and what I like to do is create a custom landing tab that links to your website. So when they click on that tab, it looks like another Facebook page, but what they're actually looking at is your website.
I think I have one of those, don't I?
You do have one of those.
I do have one of those.
Yes, you do, and a lot of clients of mine do. You can sell merchandise that way, and you don't have to duplicate your work. It's on your website, and just through a little bit of HTML coding, you can create a custom tab that when they click on that tab, it takes them right to the page on their website where they are selling their merchandise.
I like that.
Or you have your event calendar, or whatever page you want to take them to.
Very good. You know, about 10 years ago, when I first got online and I realized the potential for promoting my music on the internet, my first thoughts were initially, wow, I need to learn how to do this. Well, 10 years have gone by and I still haven't gotten that down, and that's where people like yourself come in, and I would have to say that's very important as far as a musician has enough to attend to writing, recording, doing gigs, managing that end of it, looking for producers, looking for, working with managers, and what I'm finding lately is that to have a media marketing specialist is an extremely important thing, as far as getting your message, your music, whatever your product is, out there in an effective way.
I think that social media marketing is a fairly new industry. I mean, it's been around for a little while, but it's picking up. And there is a lot to it. And I don't think that it's something that most business owners, most musicians, most artists really want to deal with. When I do social media marketing, I do the whole package. Some people have package deals, and you can do certain things for one price and certain, and add different services for a different price. I do a whole package deal because I know that if I take shortcuts, the client's not going to be happy and they're not going to get results. I really believe that social media marketing, it's not just getting on Facebook every day. It's Facebook, it's Twitter, it's LinkedIn, it's Google+, it's Pinterest, it's blogging, it's newsletters. There is a lot to it.
Also, there's people that can get you lots of likes that don't mean anything. So you have to be really careful out there.
That's true, and actually Facebook is getting on that. So if they catch your likes all of a sudden going up, and a lot of people don't know how to do that, but if you do find that kind of a service that it will give you those likes, and all of a sudden your number of likes goes up a huge amount in a 24-hour period, Facebook is going to figure out what you did, and you're going to lose a lot of those likes. So, which is a good thing.
Yeah, my experience has been in working with the good media marketing manager that the likes that I get are genuine people that really want to see what's going on. They're interested in the music. They're interested in coming to the gigs. They're interested in buying my products.
It's slow. It's a process, and it doesn't happen overnight. We just started on yours, and it takes a while to develop relationships, and that's really what social media marketing is about. It's an awesome form of marketing because up to this point, conventional marketing was newspaper ads, it was billboards, it was TV commercials, radio commercials. Those are one-way conversations. That is the company, the musician, the artist saying, hey, this is what I do. Social media marketing is a two-way conversation. Your customer gets to tell you what they want. Your customer gets to tell you what they like. You get to know your customer. It's much more personal, and it is a two-way conversation. But what that means is it takes a little longer because it is a relationship, and those are developed over time. But the wonderful advantage of social media marketing is that it's viral, meaning that if you pay thousands of dollars for a billboard, it's up on the freeway. People are going to pass it. The people that see it, see it. The people that don't. With social media marketing on Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn or any of the others, when somebody sees something that they like, if you say something that's funny, if you say something that's really interesting, if you put, like for example on yours, we put information about new musical equipment that's coming out. Interesting.
Street performing.
Interesting. Or a street performance. Well, that was your blog this time around, yes. If people read something like that and they find it interesting, they forward it. They send it out. The key to doing social media marketing, especially on Facebook, well, just if we're discussing Facebook, specifically Facebook, is that you want to put things on there that people are going to either like or share or comment to. Because the minute they do, all their friends are going to get notified that you put something on your page that they liked or commented or shared with.
I've seen that actually happen when we posted a video a while back.
Correct, and videos do really well, and we'll cover that some at another time. But YouTube is owned by Google, so you do want to use video frequently. But it does. If you put something on there that people like, every time one of your friends likes or comments or shares any one of your posts, all their friends get notification. All their friends get notified, and there's a link to your page, and that's how you get new people. Your friends talk to their friends. We all believe that getting personal referrals is the best kind of advertisement. Just about any business will agree, any business owner will agree that referrals are the best form of advertising.
I definitely agree with that.
And this is basically a bunch of free referrals, because every time a friend says, wow, that's a really cool post, and they like your post, all their friends get notification that, hey, your friend liked so-and-so's post. And most people have hundreds of friends. I think right now that the average keeps changing because Facebook is growing at unbelievable rates, but I think right now it's at about 300. So there's about, I know when I started I think it was 190, now I think it's up to 300. The average person has 300 friends. So if I, as your friend, go to your page and I like one of your posts, my 300 friends get a notification that says, hey, your friend Cynthia liked a post on his friend's page. Check it out. And they don't know anything about you, but because I liked your page, or I liked a post that you put on your page, all my 300 friends are going to get a notification that I liked something on your page, so they're going to check it out.
I'm seeing a real potential here for really, like you're saying, I would call it exponential exposure. Because I know even before I knew anything about any kind of social media years ago, just as an example, I was playing at a party, and someone I didn't know who had found my website and just happened to be there started requesting songs that they'd heard on my website, and it was really exciting to me. Because I was there actually doing cover tunes, and this person was, no, play this one, play that one, play Loretta. Oh God, I love that song. I'm one of your biggest fans. I'm so happy you're playing here. And so I see social media marketing as that effect on steroids.
And
that's what I want.
So that person heard you on
my website on DennisAlvarez.com.
Wonderful. I got that. Did you guys hear that cute little plug he just did? That was good.
What, DennisAlvarez.com?
Good job. Good job.
DennisAlvarez.com. That's all right. That's all right. I'm having fun.
Okay, so just to give all of you homework for the week, as it were, I guess what we were talking today was the fact that a lot of musicians, and I do find this very frequently, and that's why I feel it's important to discuss it. A lot of musicians, and I even find that a lot of very successful musicians, and even publishers and large businesses, it's amazing, they have a personal page that they use as a business page. So I just wanted to discuss that today and tell you why, and there are so many reasons why you need a business page, but the ones that we discussed today are very important, and I think they're enough to get you started on thinking about it. But if you do not have a business page, my suggestion would be to definitely start thinking about getting a business page. If you need help with it, you can always contact us at successwithmacintosh.com or call us at 866-636-4696. If you go to successwithmacintosh.com, you will find blogs on there that discuss Facebook pages and will help you and give you information on how to create a Facebook page. But if you do need help, feel free to give us a call and we will be more than happy to help you.
It's a very cool website.
Well, thank you very much.
You're so welcome.
Well, thank you very much for being on the show with us tonight.
My
I really
pleasure.
appreciate it. And I look forward to working with you. We just recently started a newsletter. I'm so excited. We sent out the first newsletter this week, didn't we?
It looks great.
Well, thank you. It was fun. So keep an eye out for that. Go to DennisAlvarez.com and sign up for his newsletter and keep in touch. So again, thank you very much, Dennis, and we look forward to speaking to you again.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I want to thank you all again for listening to the Highway to Success show. I hope you enjoyed it. And I want to remind you that you can listen to this and all your other favorite Indie 104 shows by going to indie104.com and going to the on-demand page. The Highway to Success show was brought to you by Success with Macintosh. You can find us on successwithmacintosh.com or you can call us at 866-636-4696. Again, that number is 866-636-4696, or you can visit us on successwithmacintosh.com. And with that, I'll say goodbye, and we will see you here next week on Indie 104.